Haven't done this for a while. Gonna have a chat. Hello, it's Icy. Yes, it has been a long time. I haven't done a video log of any sort in, years probably, because I've been streaming regularly. I kind of chat to anybody who's in the stream. So, there's quite a bit of what's going on in my life, that kind of thing, talking there. But the world is very strange right now. And I thought it would actually be a good idea if I did an actual, almost a diary, so that I myself can come back in, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and think about what the world was like in 2020. It's a shame, right? I didn't start this like 4 months ago, when things started getting very odd. So specifically, I'm talking about the current pandemic that's being experienced all over the world, not particularly in Australia right now, but it's things are very weird. So in November really, things started to be just on the edges of the news that there was something going on that probably wasn't great, sort of medically wise. December, and it was like, okay, no, there is a definite problem in China. Wuhan was locked down, but at the time it was kind of like, it's an epidemic in China, but it's not pandemic. And then January, it was like, oh no, things are starting to get weird. And then from February onwards, it was kind of like things are not going to get better. It was like there was a definite sense for me, certainly in Australia, that things were not going to be good for the world. Now, a couple of provisos. So I'm in Sydney, which is the biggest city in Australia. Australia has locked down early and relatively strictly. So as of this recording, there wasn't a problem in Australia. But as of this recording, Victoria, which is the state to the south of New South Wales, specifically in Melbourne, which is the second biggest city in Australia, things are sort of kicking off at the moment. Now, the Victorian government has done a sensible thing of basically locking down the state again. Well, locking down metropolitan Victoria again. Borders have been closed between Victoria and the other states. Is it enough? Time will tell. So, from basically the end of March, so the last 3 weeks of school, everybody was at home. Last 2 weeks of school, I think, from the first term, last two weeks of first term of school, 3 weeks, everybody was at home. Now that was weird for Miss Icy because she'd literally just started year 7, so just started high school. She was starting in a high school where she didn't know anybody particularly. She'd made some friends, but still, if you've only made friends for the first, 6 or 7 weeks of a 10-week term, and then it's like, nope, off you go. You're at home now. It's a bit strange. So schooling at Miss Icy has type 1 diabetes. So there is some extra level. She's not immune compromised at all. However, there is some evidence certainly now that if you have any form of diabetes, that there are additional risks for you if you get the disease. Mainly if, because your immune system is already used to destroying your own cells, it seems to make you slightly more at risk for, if you get COVID, for the additional problems to kick off where your immune system goes wild and then destroys your body. So good. So anyway, so everybody was home here in this house with me all of the time for was it 2 months? It all blends together very much. Mr. Icy was also working at home. Master Icy, the school is very, literally across the road, so that wasn't a huge thing, but he was at home full time as well. And so I went from having, 5 days a week where I get to have the entire, 3 days a week specifically when I'm working, where I don't need to talk to anybody. Not a soul. For 5 hours at a time, I don't need to utter one word. I don't need to talk to anybody. It's fantastic, is what I'm saying. I'm an introvert. Honestly, it may not appear that way, but completely I'm an introvert. Anyway, my house. We had people in it all the time. I mean, those people lived here. That's great. But still. Anyway, ultimately we're lucky. We have a decent-sized house. There is enough room for everybody to spread out. Mr. Icy set up an office in the front part of the house with the door shut, which was helpful because he was on video calls the entire day for the whole time. Which was really, for him, very stressful as well, because it's kind of doing work in a constant voice conference is not really great for concentrating. And in the back part of the house, I was balancing getting the kids to do schoolwork, not streaming really until the schoolwork had been done because it was too distracting for them, and working on the days that I work as well. And honest to God, it did not go well. It wasn't easy. It was very stressful. Miss Icy was mostly okay because all of her stuff was half online anyway, and they all just went fully online. How much stuff she got done, she did okay. I think she did okay. I only caught her watching YouTube videos a couple of times. Most of it was fine. But Master Icy's was all paper-based, which was great. The school was amazing. They got everything sorted. It's just that he had to be sat on to do the work. Not all of the work, but anything to do with writing sentences in English and stuff, he had to be sat on. So it made for some extremely frustrating days. And yeah, Mr. Icy couldn't really help with that because of the way his work was working. Anyway, it was definitely not fun. So the first couple of weeks were fine because nobody was really organized. We just had little bits of work to do. And then we went into 2 weeks of school holidays. That was fine. We just stayed home. We just didn't leave. The kids didn't really mind. They don't mind being at home. We've got enough stuff to do. We have enough room. Nobody's sitting on top of each other's heads. But yeah, when we came back in after that to the start of the proper school term, that was bad. And my thoughts go out to anybody who is still doing that. Because it's not easy. I don't have the personality to be a teacher. Oh my God, no. No. That's so not me. So they were only, because things got under control fairly quickly, and things were locked down and there were very little, basically there was pretty much no community transfer, and transfer between people was usually in somebody within the same house. Schools were reopened. They went back 1 day a week, I think, in week 2 of the second term. And then they were full-time again, the week after or something. So it came back really quickly. And for the first, this whole term that's just finished, we're back into the next middle school holidays basically now. No other school, we're not interacting with other schools, we're not doing sport, doing limited amounts of sport. No physical contact in sport, social distancing, all that kind of stuff. So it's not like it's back into normal school, but yeah. So from this term onwards, After school sport, weekend sport, other activities is all restarting again, is permitted to restart. Whether it should or not is a different that's an entirely different question. Should things be reopening again now with Melbourne going down into 6 weeks of lockdown? Maybe not. So that's where we stand right now. Life is being weird. I'm going to try and do one of these each month, I guess, or more frequently if I have other things to say. But yeah, life is being interesting. So, yeah, that's all. How's your life been? How are things where you live? Has it been okay? Has it been weird? Has it been terrible? I mean, ultimately, my little family, we've been lucky. We've just changed to working at home. The kids have been all right. We've been healthy. Master Icy had like a cold he picked up at school, but it was like an obvious cold, no fever, runny nose, went away within 2 days. So that was okay. None of the rest of us got sick. So yeah. So we've been lucky as far as it goes, right? But the world is being really weird right now. So anyway, that's all. Just wanted to do a little July update. We'll try and do one in August as well, with hopefully things that are not just about how weird the world is being. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know how your life is going in the comments. I'd be interested. How do things compare? Probably not favorably. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.